Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Programming is Fun. This is Indranil and in this video I will be showing you how to create a small backend server that queries your SQL database, and you can use that information to send it to your front end instead of using NoSQL like MongoDB. And this will give you the flexibility to perform all the required queries and use it in place of MongoDB. Okay, so this is the demo app. So this is very simple. I'm using a material table component here that is displaying the products from my SQL database. I have Apache and what do you call the MySQL server running here using XAMPP. So make sure you install the XAMPP or any similar tools. Okay, so both are running, as you can see, Apache and MySQL, and I will be querying the ecom database here that has two tables. One is categories and the other one is products. In categories I have 4 items, and in products I have some dummy items that I simply copy pasted. Okay, all right, and this is the entire list shown to you. So for this, for the backend, I will be using Node.js, and for the front end, I'm using Angular here, Angular 8 to be specific. So in order to create the backend server, I'm not going to show you the entire process, because you can easily create one server and get it running with the help of this package known as create express server package. Yeah, I think it's known as express generator. So you can easily do that. First you have to install the generator, and then you can generate a backend, a Node.js server within a minute or so, fraction of seconds. Okay, and this is the app that I generated. It will give you a bin folder here. That's the actual file that's being called by the server, and this is in turn importing your app.js here, which has all the other imports. Okay, and I also imported cores. Okay, this is a library or package which allows you to share resources on cross origins. Okay, you can read more about this package on its GitHub repo, and I've set the origin to only allow this particular web address. That's my front end. Okay, similarly, if you go down, I have two routes here. One is the default route, and other one is my products route. In the default route, I don't know if there's anything. Okay, it's the default page that Express shows you, but I'm not going to use it because it's here in the public folder. Okay, but we will be focusing more on the products route here. So I have a couple of functions that we'll be recreating from scratch. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm gonna clear all these methods as of now, and also in my config file I created a config file here. Let me delete everything. So this is a package that we will be using here known as MySQL. So this package is awesome, and trust me, if you install this package, you don't have to write any single SQL query, and still you can query your database. Okay, if you know how to write SQL queries, that's brilliant, you can still use it. But if you are new to SQL and you don't want to write complex queries, this is a perfect package for you. Okay, so let's quickly browse the documentation for this on npmjs.org, and you type MySQL. So this will give you this tool. It's in Chinese, I guess, or some other foreign language. So I'm gonna translate this to English. Okay, and it gives you the steps how you can instantiate the the SQL Server. So let me copy this code from here. Okay, and if you have multiple databases, you can use them here. I mean, you can add multiple databases here and use them as master and slave. Okay, but in my case I am using only one single database. I will be using this particular commandlet. So let me copy and paste it here, and my variable name is in small letters. So the host will be localhost, port is fine, user is root, password is blank. This is just for testing purposes. Okay, I'm not gonna set the DB here. Oh, sorry, the character set here. By default it will use UTF-8. The database that I have is ecom. Okay, let's put a semicolon here. Next thing, to initiate that connection. Okay, so we'll use a 3.x document here. Again, I have to translate it, thanks to Google. So there is one commandlet here that lets you instantiate the API. Okay, so let's copy this code here from here and paste it here. So my IDE helps me to know what parameters are there in a function. So the first value that we are setting here as false is telling the database that whether we want to use the database from slave or not, and since we don't have any slave databases, so we're setting it to false, and the database name should be empty in our case because we don't have a slave database. And in my config file I'm exporting this DB, that's my connection object, with the name database, so that I can use it anywhere I want. Okay, next I'll go to the products route here. Okay, I'm not gonna make any complex structure here. It'll be simple routes file, and I'm gonna import something from my config file. Okay, that will be that something will be my database. Simple. Okay, now let's get started with routing. So I've instantiated a router object from the express package here, as you can see. So once you install or create your project with the express generator, it will give you a route file out of the box. Okay, so just use this router variable here and create a get method that will be for the home route when you hit the /products endpoint. Okay, I'm gonna pass in my parameters like request and response, and here let me show you how you can query the database. I'm gonna query the products database here, which has got 10 products here, and you can read this documentation to know how it's working. Okay, so everything is using promises. Okay, you can have your own queries written out and pass it to this function, and it'll return the end result to you. Okay, but I'm not going to use this query function. Instead I'm going to use something known as table. I will use this table API. Okay, so my table name is products. I'm gonna go here. Oops, so use database, then give the table name as products. Now I want to get all the products, right? There is one function known as get all. Simple. Okay, I don't have to write a query for that, and this will return me a promise. Okay, so I can map it to the then function and do stuff inside this then function, like console.log data, and this will always give me an array. So this get all function will always give you return an array. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, and my node server is running here. It says it's crashed. Ecom. Alright, let's check it here. It should be in the config, right? Oops. It happens sometimes when you copy paste things. Okay, so now it's listening. if I go back to my browser and hit the endpoint localhost 3000 products, database is not a function. Alright, let's see what's wrong here. Product, oops, database dot table, my bad. Okay, so save it, go back, refresh, and you should have something in the console now. So it says rejecting a promise and then handle it catch. Alright, so I think we have got some error. Let's see what the error is, and I can do that. I think the table name is incorrect. Is it product or products? It's products. Okay, let's see what the error is. We can map and a catch statement and send it to the browser. So there's a dot method of dot message what you call parameter there in this error object. Says connect access denied using password no. Alright, that's strange. Alright, password, come on, user, I'm gonna change everything. It should be in small letters. I don't know why the documentation doesn't do it correctly. Okay, so now if we go back, should have something in the console. See, we have all the products here. Okay, so now instead of logging into the console, we can simply send it back to the front end, like response.json, send the data. Okay, and now you'll have it in the browser like this. I'm using a Chrome plugin known as JSON, awesome JSON viewer, something like that, which gives me this nice look. We have products from 1 to 8, okay, with the product IDs and all these columns that we have in the product table here. Okay, perfect. But let's say if you don't want to use the then statement or the then method, then you can simply make this function an async function and let products equals to await and then response.json products. Okay, I will do a check that if there are any products, and do this, else we'll simply return a message to the end user, no products found. Okay, so we should still get the same output here. Perfect. And now let's say if you want to get a product by ID. Okay, so we have product IDs here, right? So let's create a new route and we'll send a parameter with the name ID, or we'll look out for this parameter here in the URL, request response, same logic, let product, and this will return me, I need only one product with the ID, because there cannot be multiple products with the same ID, because the ID field is our primary key and it cannot be duplicated. It has to be unique. Okay, so we'll use the same method again, async await database dot table products, and this time I'm going to filter with the prod ID that will match. Let me store the ID here first, request.params.id. so this is plain NodeJS that I'm using here. Okay, and make sure that you should not end the statement with any function like filter or join or sort, because if you do so it will return nothing. Okay, you need to chain it with either get all or get. So get gives you single object and will not return an array, it will only give you one single object, so that's what we want. And we will return it if there is any product, right? So product, else we'll say message. I'm using the backstring, and I'll say no product found matching ID $ID. Okay, let's see this in action. Okay, let's see, we want product 3. Okay, with product with ID 3. So I'll simply put a slash and the number I'll give me. Okay, see how simple it is. I can give in a random number. We'll say no product found matching the ID this. This is how simple it is, how simple the API is. And in case if you don't want to do this, or let's say this, to be specific, we can write our own SQL queries, right? Oh, sorry, like SQL equals to select star from products. By the way, I'm using PHP Storm here, which has the capability to query some databases, and it'll help me with the typing as well. So I've added my database here on the right hand side. Okay, so it gives me all the fields and methods that I can use in my query. Okay, so select star from products, where prod ID equals ID, or let's say ID should be like this, I guess. Or let's do one thing, let's remove this and use backticks. Okay, perfect. So if I do this, and if I go to database dot query and pass in my statement, let product, give me a product again. So this will again return a promise, right? Like this. We can use the then method, but I'm not going to use then. I'll use the await keyword here, save it, and go back to the browser. It gives me empty. If I say 1, it gives me 1. And here, if the product is not equal to empty object, let's see, this works. Empty array, I believe. Okay, so empty array dot what is it? How do you get an empty array? Let me quickly check that. Empty array in JavaScript. Or let's do one thing. If product dot length is greater than 0, let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, it's working fine. So we are getting a product that is not in the database with this ID, and if I hit 1, it should return me the same product which I am looking for. But if you ask me, it should avoid this, because this package gives you the flexibility to use all these functions without writing a single query, and you can do almost anything. I can join tables also. So we go back to the documentation. You have full API here. You can use join tables, filters, so many filters, and you can do all the stuff like and, or, between, greater than, equal to, whatever you want. You can sort things, you can limit, you can slice, whatever you want, and you can choose which fields you want. So if I want to display, let's say I want to display only the title and the description, what I will do here, I'll go back to my code, and before the get method, I'll say with fields, and I'll pass an array. So it'll be prod ID in quotes, or prod title, I guess, right? Prod description. Save it, go back to the browser, refresh. Oops, something is wrong, I guess. Does it require, yeah, with fields, yeah, it should be with fields. Let me just bring it to multiple lines, repeating multiple lines, right? Perfect. With fields, broad, we have broad title, description. We should be good actually. Or let me put this on top of filter, if that's what's causing the not work. Or 91, well, that's strange. Until something is wrong with my server. Okay, let's see. ID, filter ID 2. Oh, you see, this is the problem. Alright, so I'm gonna add the with fields method again, prod underscore title, and I want prod underscore description. Okay, with this, save the changes and go back to the browser, refresh it, and you have what you want. Okay, so this is absolutely stunning, and this package is awesome, and this also helps you with SQL injection. This checks in the background and it's perfectly fine. So later when you send it to your front end, you can create a service, or I'm using the HTTP service here, so I'm querying the products endpoint to get all the products here. I'm subscribing to it, and I created a data source for my mat table component here. Okay, so you can get all this code. This is the code that I copied from the Angular material official docs, and simply replaced the names with my variables and column names. Okay, so you assign the data property with this array. Okay, I created a product model also, which is like this, and that's about it. Okay, you can display all the data here like this, and if I go back to 4200, this is the data. And to be sure, let me just replace the last one with t-shirt. Okay, and go back to the front end, refresh it, it's t-shirt. Perfect. So that's all about today's lesson, and I hope you like it. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave that in the comment section below, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and let me know if you want to see any specific videos on any topic. I would definitely take out some time to bring up those videos for you. Okay, till then, stay tuned, and thank you so much. Bye bye.